Hello again, welcome back to the channel. In this video, it's going to be a little different. I'm going to show you some of the world building projects that I've been working on.
Welcome to the party, pal!
All right, so like I mentioned in the intro, this is going to be some of the projects that I've been working on um, over a lot of time. A couple of these I've been working on for years. One I just finished. We've got a long, medium, and a short, I guess we can say. So first, let's go over the figures here. What these guys are is this is my avatar. This is me in the world that I've created with my son. I'll tell you the recipe, how I made him. But yeah, that's supposed to be me there. Basically, this is my son. This is me. And then I've also started one for my brother. And I'll talk about him in a second. So basically, because this is supposed to be me, it's supposed to be my son, I decided to use the same buck because, you know, he's kind of me, right? He's mini me. Eventually, I'm sure he'll be bigger than me. But I used a acid rain buck. I decided to use an acid rain buck because if you watch my videos, you know how much I like acid rain. I feel like acid rain, Toys Alliance stuff is the premium number 1/118 scale line in the whole world. Now I know there's a bit debate about that, you know, with Joy Toy and Planet Green Valley, but in my opinion, acid rain is the best. So I was like, I'm gonna use an acid rain buck. I believe this is the buck of either Jack or Bob. I can't quite remember. So it's a acid rain buck and acid rain armor vest. This is the vest from the I think it's weapons pack 1 or 2. I can't quite remember, but I went with the sort of I guess it's like a pink purple, dirty purple. I armed him up with a Jango Fett holsters and pistols, blasters. So Jango Fett belt, and this is from a Legacy Collection Jango Fett. And then I found a guy on AliExpress who's doing custom heads, and they were just random people. All three of these heads are from the same guy, but he had like celebrities, you know, Vladimir Putin, Obama, and then other celebrities that I don't even know. And so I picked two that were, I think, like just normal people. I don't think these are to resemble anyone in particular, but I tried to pick the one that I thought represented me the best. Balding guy, a little bit of facial hair, pointy nose, older. Yeah, that's me. So that's the recipe here. Legacy Collection Jango Fett, Acid Rain, Toys Alliance, and then a custom head. And for my son, I pretty much did the same thing because he is mini me, like I mentioned. So the buck, the vest are the same. The head is from the same seller, but I got one, you know, he's younger than I am. He has a full set of hair, full head of hair. So that's him there. Got the one that I thought looked like him the best. He does wear glasses like I do, but I decided to get one without glasses. I didn't want to put glasses on him. I'm imagining he is wearing contacts like I usually do, or, you know, in this space future, they fix your eyes just like they can fix any part of your body. I did decide to use a different holster though, give him a little more customizing. This is the gun and belt holster from Bo Yang Fang from Joy Toy. Probably recognize that. Really good Joy Toy figure, one of my favorites. So yeah, the recipe is fairly the same. Obviously different heads and then different belts and weapons. I am going to fit these guys, both of them, I say these guys, I'm going to fit us out with rifles. I'm leaning towards the Vintage Collection Shore Trooper Captain and Commander. that rifle, I forgot what it's called, a DC. I can't quite remember. But I was playing around with my shore troopers not too long ago and was like, you know what, this is a great gun. I should use that rather than use a acid rain or joy toy gun. I think I'm going to go with the shore trooper commander rifle, which I can't quite remember what it is. Now the final step for me, because if you've seen my videos, you know, I do like to wear a hat. And I thought about getting helmets and swapping heads and, you know, face plates, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a baseball hat. Yeah, they have baseball hats in space. So I decided I'd get a hat. This is a Eagle Force hat, an extra Eagle Force hat. And I do like to wear my hat backwards most of the time, but because of the vest that I chose, the bill of the hat hits the back, so when you start to move the head around, it does pop off. I should mention too, these heads didn't fit on perfect. It did come with like a almost like a clear rubber band type thing that you wrap around the ball joint and push the head down on. It still was a bit loose, so then I used plumber's tape. I rolled it up into a ball and jammed it up into the bottom of the head sculpt and then put that on, and that gave it a lot more hold. It's a lot better on there. It wasn't on there quite as secure as I wanted it to be. So that is me with my ball cap, and that's my son's figure. Now my brother, he is a little bit older than I am. He does not shave his head, and he doesn't have any facial hair, and he's a bit bigger than I am. He's a little bit taller, and he's a more heavier. He's not a little bit heavier. He's a lot heavier than I am. So I chose this buck. This is like Abaddon Geist. This buck's been used several times. Again, acid rain. He's not finished. I hadn't quite decided what I was going to do with him. I think you can see here. Here's that rubber band piece I was just kind of mentioning. It's a lot more exposed on this figure. But I haven't quite finished him. I'm not quite sure this is where I'm going to go with this. Buying acid rain part for part, piece for piece is quite expensive. I started this project over a year ago, and it's one of those projects I kind of just put down and stopped. Once I got nearly complete, besides rifles for me and my son, I did just kind of stop. So I never quite completed my brother's custom. I did buy some weapons for him. And I was even thinking about using this Joy Toy helmet. I think it's from Gregson, I think was his name. I hadn't quite decided, you know, what I was going to do. I'm not sure. I kind of gave up. I get kind of bored with projects if I can't finish them quickly, or if things don't work out just like I hoped, especially when they're costly. So I did kind of stop with him, but eventually I might even switch the buck out. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, those are the 3 most recent custom figures that I've been working on. I do not like to paint. I'm more of a kit bash customizer, and that's what these are here. I don't know if I'll take it too much farther. I would like to finish this one, but to me, these 2 are finished. But yeah, over a year, I've probably been working on these little by little. All right, so let's put these guys off to the side. I'll talk about the next kind of project I did, and that is these walls here. So, scale-wise, just kind of show you. So what these were here, I decided I've been working on a custom like Imperial base, and I have a lot of different parts and pieces. This is, again, a project I've been working on probably the last year or so, not quite as long as these. These are over a year. I just made these, actually. I just finished these, but the Imperial base that I've been working on piece for piece, part by part, has been for about a year. But I decided I needed some walls, so I made these. What these are, you can see these holding these up are actually corner protectors from boxes that I got, and I just glued them on to hold them up. What these are I think you can see the seams there. These were wood samples that you would get at a flooring store. And they're all the same size and they all have a sticker on them, and they kind of tell you, you know, it's this kind of floor. This is the number on it. You know, this is how much it costs per square foot if you were going to get these installed on in your house or your apartment, whatever. This piece here is a same thing, a sample from a flooring store of the baseboard or like a rail that you would put, molding that you'd put around your room. And so I just got a whole bunch of them. They were all the same size, but one of them, this one here that's a little bit taller, and I glued them together. I used the baseboard to cover a lot of the seams. I did have a little bit trouble putting these together because wood glue, even though these are just pieces of wood, the wood glue wouldn't hold and super glue wouldn't hold. So I went to my old trusty epoxy, which it's pretty thick. So there was a long process to make these. I think you can kind of just make out where there was a sticker right here. They all have a sticker on them on the back side. This side was the side that would show the finish, and those have to be sanded off, then glued together. But they, you know, you've got to make sure they're even. Everything's flush and even, and then the glue. Because it's epoxy, it's like toothpaste. You have to then sand that seam to get that glue off. Then when that's done, then you paint it. And then after I painted it, I did weather it. So that's what these are. I'll show you a little example of them, how I'm using them here towards the end of the video. But that's what these are. These are just wood samples from a flooring store. And that was the process of kind of putting them together. It was a little bit easier with these baseboards because they had stickers, but I just left that sticker because I was only going to use one side. You're only going to see one side because of how I was gluing these. And so you can kind of see, like right there, I just kind of left it. But that was one of the wood. That was what you would see. But there was a sticker here on this side that actually helped when I glued them bond it better because it's a piece of paper. And then I just use different corner protectors from different packages, you know, pre-orders and things that I've got in the mail to help sturdy them up because they would just fall over. But having this piece here and these keep them balanced so that you can just line them up and create a wall. There we go. It was up on one side, but you can see there, then they just kind of go together. So that was this one. I just started this one about a month ago, and I just pretty much completed it. Here, let's put one of the small ones here right in the back. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that out. I knocked the camera down, but you will not see that. So for the last thing though, and I will have to pick up the camera to show you this. So this is something I made probably over 3 years ago. And what it is it was supposed to be like a gas station, like a speeder repair shop. That was the intent of what this is. Now, I got the idea for this piece of the structure from Skybottom Station. You guys probably know who he is. He has a YouTube channel and an Instagram. He doesn't use it as often as he used to, but he, like Empire Toy Works or any of the other guys out there, he's built his own world. And I was watching one of his videos and he mentioned how he was using tissue Kleenex boxes for buildings because they already had a cutout. They were in a nice shape and you can find them readily available for cheap at Goodwill stores, Salvation Armies, things like that. So I found a wood one day and decided, I was going to try to make something with it. Now, the story behind this, though, because this is about 3 years old, I was never quite happy with how it turned out. This piece on top is a wood cutting board. And this here, you can see, these are more of those baseboards from the walls. And this is actually a wooden, same thing, it's a sample from a wood store that sold acoustic wood sort of noise dampening kind of panels that you'd put on your wall. So, but what happened was these two pieces here used to be a column here. And earlier this summer, about 2 or 3 months ago, I was moving things around in the garage and I actually dropped this and broke it. I broke off the columns here. There used to be a pitched roof coming out from underneath here. You can kind of just see here where it broke off. And this piece here broke off. I think you can see that. I had to glue that piece back on. I decided not to put that little roof back on. I grabbed this piece and I put these on its side, and this piece is brand new. It's about a month old. And then I had a skylight on here. This is from a what would you call that? A Malibu light, a landscape light that had gotten old and broken. And I put that on there. When I dropped it and broke all these pieces off, this also broke. You can see it's barely holding on. This hole here was like so you could hold the cutting board. But I couldn't find this piece. My garage is fairly messy, and I could not find that piece, though I found all the other pieces. But I've left this on. I had, the idea was, and I had done it, let's see if I could show you. I had cut some holes there in the top so that light could come through. One of the things that I had done was I painted the inside white, and it's a little bit yellow there because I sprayed it with glow-in-the-dark paint. But it didn't quite turn out the way that I had hoped. I bought a lot of posters off of someone on eBay, and that's what these are. They're all stuck on here. This was a backpack from a Fortnite figure that, again, like 3 years ago when my dog was a puppy, I dropped it on the ground and she found it and chewed it up. But I thought it looked like some kind of a data pad. A few more posters. I had a second one of these right here. It also broke off that I never found, but I just kind of left it. I can't remember what it is here that I wrote. I think when I looked it up, I think it says like repair shop or speeder shop, or I can't even remember. But I got that off of like Wikipedia or something where you can put it in, your language and it'll give you Arabic. So I'm not even sure what that says anymore. But yeah, that's what this is. I weathered it, painted it up, added posters. It's fairly solid. But again, I did drop it. I dropped it about 5 feet off of a table or a shelf, and it did bust up. And on the inside, there's another poster there. But I've always kind of thought, it doesn't look that good, but when you fill it with things that aren't yours, say Empire Toy Works stuff or Grime City stuff, or it really helps it. I did find a piece that I thought I was going to replace this skylight with, and that is this old, it's from like a generic Lego that my son no longer plays with, but I thought I might replace that with this, give it a little bit more structure, but it's not much. But I found, with a lot of the stuff that I've done, because it is not, the best. I'm not very proud of this or anything. But when you start to fill it up with, say, Empire Toy Works stuff, or whoever, it does start to look a lot better. So you put that in there like that. If you have, some of these items from some of these other guys, you got a couch. It's the Empire Toy Works couch. You throw that in there. Been meaning to do a video on some of this stuff that I got, but here is an outhouse from Grime City. But you start to add, other people's stuff to yours, and it starts to look a lot better. we'll put this together and I'll kind of show you how I imagined it when I first got it. But let me show you another piece of the sort of how the walls work, or how I thought of the walls working. Okay, so I'm literally in the corner of my room here. I usually shoot my video right there. Still haven't quite completed the room yet. Oh, here's another thing I made. This is a staircase that I made out of wood, painted. But so you can see here are the walls. I've just been kind of messing around with stuff lately. But you can see this is another wall I made out of that same material, the acoustic panels that I used for the wall on the gas station speeder shop. But you can see here, they line up just right. They're the right height. And they're the right scale. So these are gonna work for me. It's just an idea, something that I've been working on. Just finished them. But I think they turned out pretty good. They turned out pretty good. None of this is like, it's just sitting here right now. This is all just sitting here right now. I haven't quite put everything together. Still working on the room. It's like a labor of love. It's just not done yet. But I wanted to show you, how practically I'm going to use these walls. All right, so let's go back to the table. Okay, so as Han Solo would say, I know she ain't much, but she's got it where it counts. Let's set this up. Let me give you an idea of how I'm going to use this thing, what it would look like, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to pretend we're out in the desert or the sand or something, and I'm going to try to cover this with a brown tablecloth. I've used this before on some photos for Instagram, and it seems to work pretty well when you use filters on your pictures. Okay, we've got the building. Let's add the porta potty. Why not? It's pretty fun. Let's add a ship, because that was the point of the top of this, was that it would be a ship, could land on it. And let's add a few more items and people now. Okay, so it's pretty bare bones, but you get the idea. Landing pad on the top, speeder shop, below, repair, room for a couple people inside, data pad, got a bathroom. I just, threw that in there because we had it. There I am with my kid. But yeah, so that is a couple of my customs, not the best, not the greatest, but they work for me. I'm happy. They were fun making them. I have a lot of little things like this. I just don't share them that often because I'm not very good at it, to be quite honest. But, it was a lot of fun, and that's what this is all about. When you're collecting, it's all about having fun. And this was fun. It was fun for me putting these together. It was actually kind of fun going back 3 years later and trying to upgrade this thing and repair it. Because it got a lot of new ideas, and I think I've gotten a little bit better, especially paint wise. But yeah, overall, a lot of fun. That's the video, guys. So those are some of the custom items, that I've been working on. A couple of things that I've done. Maybe I should put this back there. Maybe that would have added a little bit to it. I don't know. Maybe not. I think you get the idea, though. But that's it, guys. That's the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys are working on anything, if you've completed any projects. Let me know. All right. See you next time. Bye.